Imagine a nation united in its struggle for freedom suddenly split at its seams. Picture India, a land of diverse cultures, languages, and people bound together by a common cause. The late 19th and early 20th centuries were a tumultuous time for this vibrant nation. Ruled by the iron fist of British colonialism, India was a nation yearning for independence. The Indian National Congress, or the INC as it's known, emerged as a beacon of hope in these testing times. Formed in 1885, this organization brought together leaders from across the country, uniting them under a single banner. They were the intellectuals, the visionaries, the dreamers, and the realists, all driven by a shared desire to free India from the shackles of colonial rule. The INC in its early years followed a moderate approach. They believed in constitutional agitation and peaceful protests. They were the gentlemen who engaged with the British on their own terms, using their own language. They were the lawyers, the teachers, the journalists who used their pen and their voice as their weapons. But as the years rolled on, a new breed of leaders began to emerge within the INC. These were the radicals, the firebrands who believed that freedom couldn't be won through petitions and pleas. They were the ones who were willing to take the struggle to the streets, to the fields, and to the factories. They were the ones who wanted to awaken the masses, to stoke the fires of rebellion. The stage was set for a clash of ideologies. The moderate and the radical, the pen and the sword, the petition and the protest, were all on a collision course. The unity of the INC, and indeed of the nation, was about to be tested. And it was in the city of Surat, in the year 1907, that the fault lines finally emerged. But this united front was not to last, paving the way for what we now know as the Surat Split. As the saying goes, the road to hell is often paved with good intentions. And so it was with the Indian National Congress in the early 20th century. The Congress was a beacon of hope, a platform for the aspirations of a nation yearning for freedom. But within its ranks, there were differing ideologies brewing, creating a potent mix that would eventually lead to a significant divide. The Congress was not a monolith, but rather a mosaic of diverse perspectives. At one end of the spectrum were the moderates, a group that believed in the power of dialogue and diplomacy. They advocated for constitutional reforms, gradual self-governance, and the rule of law. Their arsenal was not of weapons, but of petitions, prayers, and protests. They sought to win over the British with reason and righteousness, hoping to show them the justice of their cause. On the other end of the spectrum were the extremists. They were the firebrands, the revolutionaries, the ones who believed in the power of direct action. For them, patience was not a virtue, but a vice. They argued for immediate self-rule, for Swaraj, and were prepared to achieve it by any means necessary. Their methods were more assertive, if not aggressive, favoring boycotts, strikes, and civil disobedience. The tension between these two factions was not merely a difference of opinion, it was a clash of ideologies. The moderates believed in the potential for peaceful change within the existing system, while the extremists sought to overturn the system entirely. This ideological divide, this tension, was not a mere footnote in the annals of the Congress. It was a fault line, a crack in the foundation that threatened to split the Congress, and with it, the hope of a united front for India's struggle for independence. This ideological conflict would come to a head in the city of Surat, a city that would witness one of the most pivotal moments in the history of the Indian National Congress, setting the stage for a dramatic showdown that would forever change the course of India's fight for freedom. It was 1907 in Surat where the Congress was set to hold its annual session. The city was abuzz with anticipation. The Congress, a beacon of hope for millions, was the platform where India's future was being shaped. But little did anyone know, a storm was brewing, one that would leave an indelible mark on the nation's history. The crux of the conflict lay in the election of the Congress president. Two factions had emerged within the Congress, the moderates and the extremists. The moderates, led by the likes of Gopal Krishna Gokhale, believed in gradual reforms and constitutional agitation. They advocated for a moderate approach, one that involved negotiations and petitions. On the other hand, the extremists, with leaders like Bal Gangadhar Tilak, were proponents of more assertive action. They called for direct confrontation and Swaraj, or self-rule. As the session commenced, tensions rose. The moderates proposed Rash Behari Ghose for the presidency. a seasoned lawyer and a respected figure. However, the extremists had a different vision. They backed Lala Lajpat Rai, a fiery leader known for his passionate rhetoric against the British rule. The disagreement was not just about the presidency, but about the very direction that the Congress, and by extension, the independence movement should take. The session soon turned into a battleground, with heated debates and impassioned speeches. But when the dust settled, it was Rash Behari Ghose who emerged as the president. This didn't sit well with the extremists. Feeling marginalized and overlooked, they walked out of the session, marking a clear split within the Congress. And just like that, the united front against British rule was severed, marking the beginning of a new chapter in Indian history. The Surat split, as it came to be known, was a turning point, a moment of reckoning that would shape the course of the Indian freedom struggle in the years to come. The Surat split was more than just a disagreement, it was a turning point, a shift in the tides of India's political landscape that would ripple through the years to come. The aftermath of this defining moment was characterized by a weakened Congress, a rise in regional parties, and a freedom struggle that was more fragmented than before. In the wake of the Surat split, the Indian National Congress was left reeling. The once unified voice of the Indian people was now split into two factions, the moderates and the extremists. The moderates, led by Gopal Krishna Gokhale, believed in gradual reform and constitutional means to achieve political ends. The extremists, on the other hand, led by Bal Gangadhar Tilak, sought immediate self-rule and were willing to use more radical methods to achieve it. This division within the Congress led to the weakening of its influence. The lack of a united front made it easier for the British to maintain their rule over India. The Congress, which was once a beacon of hope for the Indian masses, was now a house divided. But every cloud has a silver lining. The Surat split also marked the rise of regional parties. These parties, although smaller in scale, played a crucial role in the freedom struggle. They were able to address local issues more effectively and mobilize the masses at a grassroots level. This, in turn, led to a surge in political participation among the Indian people. The freedom struggle, however, was not the same. The unity that once characterized it was replaced by a fragmented front. The moderates and the extremists pursued their own paths, each believing their method was the best way to achieve freedom. But despite these differences, the struggle continued. The fire of freedom that was lit by the Congress continued to burn, albeit on a fragmented front. Despite the setback, the struggle for freedom continued, albeit on a fragmented front. The Surat split was a defining moment, a turning point that would shape the course of India's freedom struggle. But as history would later reveal, it was not the end, but just another chapter in India's long and arduous journey towards independence. The Surat split was a defining moment in India's fight for independence. This pivotal event, although initially seen as a setback, eventually became a catalyst for change, setting the stage for a more unified and focused fight against British rule. The split between the moderates and the extremists within the Indian National Congress was a reflection of the diverse thoughts and strategies within the freedom movement. While it led to a period of uncertainty and disarray, it also prompted introspection and evolution within the Congress. In the years that followed the Surat split, both factions realized the importance of a unified front. The moderates acknowledged the need for more assertive action, while the extremists recognized the value of patient negotiation and political process. This mutual understanding led to the reunification of the Congress in 1916, marking a significant step towards a more cohesive and effective freedom struggle. The Surat split also had a profound effect on the leadership within the Congress. The extremists' emphasis on self-reliance and active resistance influenced a new generation of leaders, including the likes of Subhash Chandra Bose and Bhagat Singh. The moderates' focus on constitutional reform and negotiation shaped the political acumen of leaders like Mahatma Gandhi and Jawaharlal Nehru. This blend of ideologies and strategies eventually led to India's independence in 1947. Beyond the realm of politics, the Surat split left an indelible mark on India's social and cultural fabric. It fostered a sense of national identity and unity among the diverse populace, transcending the barriers of region, religion, and caste. It also amplified the voices of women, peasants, and laborers, bringing their issues to the forefront of the national discourse. The Surat split, despite its initial discord, ultimately strengthened the resolve of the Indian people. It instilled a belief in the power of unity and the importance of diverse thoughts and strategies in the pursuit of a common goal. The Surat split serves as a reminder of the importance of unity in the face of adversity, a lesson that remains relevant even today.